I was in a bed processing some things, and I think I've mentioned or talked about this briefly, or maybe even a lot. It just depends on the way you process it or hear it. But sometimes you expect that, like, sometimes you think that you're gonna need, like, people think that. Okay, I'm not gonna say what people think, but the ways that we have always been taught to communicate is not the only form of communication, which is why communicating is getting very, very chaotic and confusing, and all this really play on willpower, because that's really what it's about. People, um, so my words manifested, verbally, audibly, um, triggers a reaction for your senses. So even the tone, vibration carry their own sound and frequency, which begins to resonate with the unseen and seen realms of the time space. So often people know before you tell them, and like um in certain instances, of course, like, it's not, is there's gray area, and some people are more more or less in tune with these faculties. Some people naturally, let me tell you this, how let me say how what I'm saying about this duality exists on this level. There are some people who are so naturally in tune with this order that they operate within it well. Like, their natural um, flow is on code with that. But there are others who somehow shapeshift, pivot, transmute, alchemize, and jump in and out of various identities, spaces. I don't know how to call it. Maybe just yeah, I just say identities, forms um to navigate the world. Some people, like the people who naturally flow with the way that the world is heading. I mean, it's just, I feel so I feel so mission, and for you to unravel and come to the light and let us know what your journey and adventure has been like. And for those who have to go about it via the resistance, and or because there's those who are completely opposite. Like, there is no way I can go through this life um naturally. Like, they have to completely disconnect. Rather, it was already like at birth, when they was born, that was what their gift to their parents was, that wisdom that afforded that lifestyle change or shift, um or at some point in their life their they have that awakening and transition into that homeostasis of self. But then you have, like, I want to say me, or where I feel like I'm at, because I don't, like, there I have I've already experienced myself in my purpose. I've already experienced myself in a purpose. And so holding on to the way that I envision fulfilling that idea is what even like even expanded me into having multiple purposes, and opening up to the idea that, oh no, um like this life is expansive enough for it to be all inclusive and inclusive of the things you're both ready and think you're unprepared to experience. And I've already witnessed that. I've done that before, like been completely out of my mind doing some things that I'm like, I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So it's like this. And there are some of us who are just not, like, we have to cope and find ways to be grounded, and that's tricky because um, it dwells in the gray area, it dwells in the stickiness of the human experience. At least um, unpacking it and getting to a place where you flow better within it. Because I'm be honest with you, I'm not gonna act like I'm just, I got the best routines, practices, shit going on. Because even if I did, like, that would be an ego conscious or ego construct. Because, like, who's to say that that shit is the what I need, like, solely my spirits, that, like, things that I'm contracted with, my bloodline, things that I have to transmute, might need to drink, might need to smoke, might need to do the hoary shit that I get myself into to re connect. And I've been on the ins and outs of this because I have matured past the whole, just like, I've always had this down to fuck nature. This, like, I'm very fluid within my sexual energy. It's that I feel like it's raw, untapped. I can go very dense with it, very dark, very wherever you want to be at with it, we can be. And I think that that's very alluring, attractive, magnetizing, wanted for a lot of type of people and beings and entities, whatever you want to call it. And so, and physically, I think I'm just that. I've always been that girl. But anywho, yeah, I think that, again, a part of navigating your life, your journey, your human spirit experience is self-acceptance on a level that it transpire and transmute into collective acceptance. So, like, of course, you have to be honest about what about your self needs to change or shift, pivot. But also, you got to be honest about why, how, the plan, the process. Because what I've noticed for myself is that I'm I've learned so much manipulation tactics through religion and through being parented that I have, like, not only is it easy for me to be susceptible to it to others, but I do it to myself. I in various ways. Sometimes I use it to see what, like, you to learn what it is, like, what is happening, what was being done to me, like, what am I experiencing, learn how to like the offense, the defense, learn the more, what they call it, battle magic. Like, there's like a, I might not be talking because I told y'all this before. Sometimes the things that come to my mind space don't always transfer. But I'm just collecting my thoughts, trying to think about some things. Mm. I was thinking about the fear that is over me. The mother wounds, the trauma that I experienced from being raised by a single mom who had the bare minimum. Literally, it's by the grace of God that me and my sisters are as beautiful, whole as we are, because we could be way worse. And I mean, I'm not even gonna hold you. Some things our lives we've experienced. I'm glad we are. I'm glad we are where we are, and I'm hopeful that our lives continue to go forward, even though I don't always connect with my siblings, my family, and stuff. Like, that has very little to do with me wanting to see them whole, happy, fulfilled, healed. And the thing that I didn't realize is, I'm always trying to save people from experiencing hardship or the hard thing. And I'm learning to release and because it's not fair. It's crippling to others to like put them in that, to force them in that, to not trust their spirits, consciousness, all of that to get through. And sometimes I just don't even want to deal with them. It's not even about, I don't give a fuck. Like, I've come into so much wisdom and knowledge and understanding, and I'll be like, I mean, let me just say this. There are some principles and things that people be trying to say, you know, like that you hear all the time, and you're like, oh, I want that, I want to be like that, I want to embody that, I want to like acquire that. And you think like it requires you to be just this stiff, this like unbothered, unpenetrable person. But it actually, sometimes it's being vulnerable, it's being woman enough, it's being human enough, it's being whole enough to still have an experience, and not only show the person you're having that experience with, but show yourself that actually this doesn't break me, actually this doesn't hurt me, actually there is no, you know, there's just so much duality. Like, and a lot of different things. And the more that I release like expectation and lean more into acceptance, the more I'm able to be myself. Like, I don't like, that's not my burden, and I had to release any attachment to the the fallout. Like, I'll be here to console, I'll be here to uplift, I'll be here to do whatever is necessary on the back end. But I've been on the front lines already, and I can't say to team, not like that, not like this. I gotta figure, not like, I gotta hear God. I gotta be in a space, in a life, in an environment that I can clearly hear God. And I don't think that I'm not hearing God where I'm at. I think that I'm I think I think I'm I think I'm I think I think I'm trying to do the things that I'm hearing. I think I'm just trying to figure out a way to do what I'm being told to do without causing, which I'm not even, it's not about what I'm trying to cause or not cause. There is a lot of fear. Like, God knows what the fear is. I can't get it out. I mean, I can get it out. Don't say, I'm not going to say I can't get it out. More so, like, I think my resistance to um my resistance to certain things is also my blockages. So the things I'm afraid to do or say are the same things that I'm bound by. And it's so weird because it's like it's duality. It's like first release the attachment to needing to carry that alone. But once you do that, you're like, okay, then what's the process for articulating this and having a conversation? Like, I can't, like, how do you facilitate this conversation, this healing, this, and is it necessary? And that's what I was going to talk about earlier. Is it necessarily, does it have to be a conversation? Sometimes, like, I could just hear someone explain something, I'll realize, oh, but we don't talk enough to know that this is how trauma is transferred. So my cousin, my big cousin, was abused and hurt by her mother, who was a drug addict. And I'm not saying that like judgmentally. I'm saying that like this is the spiritual disposition of our bloodline. Because even I have some type of drug addiction to marijuana, weed, tobacco, smoke. And so she was very cruel and just abusive, and that transferred to a mom being abusive, like her being abusive to her little cousins, which then transferred my mom being abusive to the closest people to her, so her sister, her youngest, maybe her little sister, and then her children. We went through so much with my young mom. My mom had me at 19, I believe. So by the time my mom was 25, she had already had 3 kids, like by 3 different men. And so not only I'm healing from a whole lot of sex from a whole bunch of men. So imagine all of that from her lifestyle of that, sex with different men, and then the biological changes of being pregnant by these men. And then we have to consider like the grief, the trauma she experienced as an adult. Her life still going on, having to take care, have to help us have love. Like that shit was just too much. It was an impossible feat. And she figured it out. And it was the most scariest thing at times because it was just her doing it. So I can only imagine